Okay. So how does it feel to be done with the new stuff? Yeah. All right. Now, how does it feel for the Jazz to win last night? Yeah, they smoked them. I worked for Oklahoma City last night. I was very excited to put in that fourth foul for Oklahoma City. They weren't, but I was. All right. So, I guess I better erase that. Good thing I'm not recording this from the board. What questions do you guys have? Yes, Eric.
So on the Excel test, how are you going to do it? Is it going to be one question for each section, or are you going to do it a different way?
No, that would take way. You'd be there 10 hours if I did that. I don't know. Last semester, I think I only gave 3 problems, but they had like A through L parts or something.
And see on the first like 6 chapters.
What's that?
Be on like one of the first 6 or 9 chapters.
Yeah, so we'll go, remember histograms, box and whiskers, all that stuff. You know, we'll basically just give you, here's some data, do everything you can with it. I might do that. I haven't decided yet, but yeah. It's you know, problem with those tests are super easy to write, they're horrible to grade. So I don't know if I'll don't make it that way.
That's too written.
Yeah. That's already scheduled. So, but as far as the written test, we'll talk about that for a second. So generally, I will do what you said there, Eric. We've got 14 chapters. If I pull out, say, 2 problems per chapter, that's 28. I'll probably give you about 30 problems. So you can kind of plan on that. You get to use Excel in the testing center.
No, I'm asking the fifth one though. Because the last couple of days we've used Excel exclusively.
Yeah, but it'll be more conceptual. So your paper test will be less mathy.
The testing center, when is that open?
It's Monday or Tuesday of next week. So it's only Monday and Tuesday. That's the only time they would let me schedule it. They didn't used to let me schedule it during finals week, but they did. I got special permission just for you guys. Okay? So otherwise it would have been this week. So you got more time to study. So remember, our test is Monday at 7 a.m. What are they doing to me? Anyway, that's going to suck. It's going to suck for everybody. So don't be late. You're up by 4 anyway? Really? So the weird thing, I was in Stanford this weekend, Friday. Friday I was at Stanford in tennis. Set my alarm for 4:15 in the morning. And I woke up, 4:15. I woke up at 4:14 before my alarm went off. I was like, what is that? I was kind of glad, I guess, but I could have used that extra minute. So anyway, what do you got? Want to do a scenario? I can do some scenarios. By the way, I did get a bunch of emails. Actually, they were from the other class saying, hey, you didn't give us the answers. I'm like, I know. Yeah, I give you the questions, you should figure it out, right? It should be easy. Samantha. Oh, we can do a normal probability plot if you want. We can do. We got plenty of time. We got 20 minutes.
Is it possible to get the passwords for the previous test?
Oh, passwords for the previous test. I don't know if I want to record that. I might pause recording, but I'll do that. Yeah, I'll pause recording for that. So I'll pop that up. No pictures though. Okay, so do you guys want to do a normal probability plot? That's the one you're going to have to remember, right? So I don't have any data. Should we just use a bunch of random numbers? Sure. All right, so I'm just going to pick some random numbers. Here's our data. Rand between, Samantha, what do you want your numbers to be between? 1 and 20. And that's very good. So copy, paste special, values, that'll keep them from changing, because they don't change anymore. Okay, so what's the key equation that you need to remember that's not on your formula sheet? Guys remember? F sub I equals what? I minus 0.375 divided by n plus 2.25. Okay, so there's only like two things you got to remember. Degrees of freedom, three things. Degrees of freedom for each of the different ones, that formula, and the F. The F is kind of weird, right? F distribution, degrees of freedom. Okay? All right, so that's my formula there, F sub I. So the first thing I need to do is what?
Assign each one, or organize them.
Organize them. What do you mean by organize them? Go sort them. Okay? That's a very common step that people forget to do, is sort your data. Okay? So if you go to data, you can sort A to Z. Now they're sorted. Okay? By the way, do you think this will be normally distributed? Sometimes it is, but usually it shouldn't be. All right, here I'm going to move this down one. Okay, there's my data. Now, what do I do next? The index, right? What's the index? 1, 2, 3, etc., all the way down to the however many you got. Okay. Sometimes random numbers can look normal. We'll find out what happens here. Now what? Yes.
How do you get the number so they stay instead of switching?
So you highlight your data. The question was, how do you get them to quit changing? Highlight your data, copy, Control-C to copy, and then if you right-click, I'll show you again. So you highlight your data, you've already copied it, you right-click, and you click on Paste Special 1, 2, 3 values. And now they won't change anymore. Let me zoom it in. And then, yeah, then you can sort. Because if you sort before you paste it, it just mess it up again. Okay? Is that Cal Soccer? What does that say? Bryce? What's your shirt say?
Oh, beach soccer.
Beach soccer. All right. Okay. Now what? Now we can use our equation, right? So I need to find my F sub I. So my F sub I equals, and here's where parentheses come in very handy. I minus 0.375, parentheses divided by, what's my N? 17, so I'm gonna divide everything by 17.25. Okay, gonna copy that down. Now what? We need to find our z-score, right? How do we find our z-score? Is it norm s dist or inverse? It's inverse, right? Because we're taking, you can think of these all as probabilities. If you get something greater than 1, you got a problem.
Will it matter if you use one of the periods?
It does not matter whether you use periods or not on this one. Okay, so we're going to copy that down. Now what?
So which equation did we use for that one?
Norm s inverse. And it doesn't matter whether you use periods or not, it's the same. Does the norm s inverse require? Norm dot s dot inverse? No, that's for the same thing. The dist is different, but the inverse doesn't matter. Okay? Now what?
Is this the time where we highlight the data and
We highlight our original data and our z-score, and then we
go to scatter plot?
insert, scatter.
How
What do
are
you
you
think?
highlighting the data? Because a lot of times when I highlight the data, it just puts them all in.
How do I highlight the data? So I'm going to highlight, I always include the column headings in here, hold the control key down, highlight the z-score column. Insert, scatter. What do you think? Looks a little curvy on the ends, doesn't it? A little bit. You could probably get away with calling that normal, but it is a little curvy on the ends.
We just say normal, but it's like curve again.
Yeah, it probably would fit. I would assume it would fit within the bars. Nobody has ever given me extra credit on how to find those bars. Or, you know what I'm talking about? They're in the book, but I actually did have somebody last semester night, but it was so complicated. I was like,
I'd rather not.
you'd rather not? Maybe I'll do that during the final. I'll see if that works. Yes?
On the test, would you say that is normally distributed population or not?
Would I say that the population is normally distributed? That's not what I would say, because I don't know anything about the population.
Oh, the
This is a sample,
size.
okay? Make sure we get sample and population. Is the sample normally distributed? I'd probably say it's normal enough. If these were a little bit more curvy on both ends, I'd probably say it wasn't. Yes?
So I thought it was just like if there's any correlation at all on this, then it's not normally distributed. Do I have that wrong?
You have that wrong. So she said, I thought if there was any correlation, then it was not normally distributed. That's not correct. What we're looking for is basically a 45-degree line. And that fits there pretty good. So I'd say it's close enough. Yes.
So under what circumstances do you have to do the?
Under what circumstances do you have to do the QQ plot?
Is it just if it doesn't state that it's not normal, or if we don't have a sample size over 30?
Yeah, so it's especially for sample sizes that are less than 30. That would be a good time to do it. Or if I ask you.
It's been forever since we did QQ plots.
Yeah, it has been a long time. Do you guys remember, since we're on a QQ plot, do you guys remember how to do a box and whisker? The way that I want you to.
Not your way.
Yeah, my way, and not the cheating way. You got to do it.
It's not cheating, I think, give it to you.
Yeah, but remember, I got the old version of Excel, and so if you pull it up, I can't pull it up. So you got to do it my way.
I've been willing to upgrade you.
Yeah.
You can get free updated Excel.
You gonna give me the money?
Ah, it's a teacher.
You should get it. It's free.
Yeah,
You
you
should get it free.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get the discs to upgrade it for free.
You guys got to learn how to do it right.
It's the new days. It's the millennials.
Okay, how do you do it? What's my method?
You find the Q1, Q2, Q3.
You got to find your 5-number summary.
Upper low.
Okay. What is your 5-number summary? The minimum, Q1, Q2, Q3. What's Q2 also called? Q4, right? It's also called the what? The median. What'd you say? Q4 is the maximum. In fact, I'd rather call it maximum than Q4. Okay. How do I find it? What?
We can use Excel, or we can just find out.
What would you use Excel for this?
Then we say equal, water,
Quartile. Which one?
reaches. We're going to bottom.
The bottom one, very good. That's the easiest one to use, okay? What do I do about array? Highlight my data, comma, or actually before I press comma, is there anything I should do? F4. Then I can copy and paste all one step. Then I press go 0 for the minimum. Okay. If I put those dollar signs in there, now I can copy this down, and theoretically I should get the same answer every time. Oh, why did that not work? Oh, because apparently it only highlighted the first dollar sign. I got to do it on both. Let's try that again. Now I should get the same number. Okay. If you don't get the same number, something's wrong. Okay. Now I can change that 0 to a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Okay. Now what? Oh yeah, actually we should check for outliers. I didn't think of that. Let's check for outliers. The IQR is Q3 minus Q1. Multiply that times 1.5. Okay. And then what? Lower fence and the upper fence. Lower fence is Q1 minus this, the 1.5, yeah. And Q3 plus that. Do I have any outliers? No outliers. Q3 plus 1.5 times your IQR. So 16 plus 15 is 31. And then what?
What was the IQR again?
What's the IQR again? Q3 minus Q1. Okay. No outliers, so I don't have to worry about that. Now what? How do I make box and whisker? I'll make that the date. Very good. Here, we'll do it right here. So date, and then what? Open, high, low. That's the other. Oh, there's another thing you got to remember. Low, close. Okay, what do I put for the date? Anything you want, but pick, yeah, 2 consecutive days if you're using more than one. Okay, January 1st works as good as any. And then, well, let's do the high. That one's the easy one, right? The high is what? It's the max because we don't have any outliers. If we had an outlier, what would it be? It would be the fence. Okay, the higher fence. The low is the minimum or the lower fence, whichever one applies. What about the open? Q1 and the close, Q3. And if I had 2 sets of data, I'd keep going. But now I'm going to highlight my data, and then I'm going to do what? Insert. Click on the spider web. Go to more charts. Do the, oh, not the box and whisker. Do the what? Stock market graph. Okay. Click on that. Now what? Do we want this in here anymore? No, I'll get rid of it. Eric said label it. How do I label it? Click on the plus sign, access titles. This is random numbers. And down here, we can call this Samantha's idea. We can blame it all on her.
Yeah, you should. That's good.
Normally, oh, it covered up my thing. I can also change it here, and we can put 2040 or something here, and that will change it on my graph. Okay? Am I done? No? You put in the median. The median is 9. Okay? So how do I put the median in there? Make sure you got the graph clicked one time, and then you click Insert, Shapes, click the line. 9 is just below 10. Give it a better title, such as I Love Math 2040. Okay? Oh man, we didn't get to do any scenarios.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Do scenarios.
Nah, you guys, you got all the questions, man. Most people call that cheating when you know the questions before I give them to you.
I think it's more sense of practice.
There's over 70 of them.
Well, you should practice.
It's not really cheating.
Okay. So, well, I guess we're out of time. All right. So, as far as quiz tomorrow will be on the scenario, so check those out. I'll have to put some kryptonite on there. You guys don't. Do you remember which one you guys had a hard time with? On the last test, what did you guys miss? It was the Z1 mean test. Nobody could get that one right. Okay, practice that one. See if you can identify it. But yeah, it could be any of those on the formula, on the scenarios. So look those over. 2 heads are better than 1. Study with your friends if you can.
So you're not going to press the answer. You just have to say.
No. So it'll be good. So you can ask me questions tomorrow.
You have it in.
For right here. My answer key's right here. Okay. All right. Good luck. We'll see y'all tomorrow.